Alright, I'm going to do this again. So, I got a lot of people in my last video kind of saying I'm being mean or that I'm just farming for attention or like, you guys just need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. And like, it just shows how disconnected you guys are. Let's just run through some statistics and you tell me if millennials are whiny for saying, hey, this is messed up, all right? Millennials are the first generation to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. My generation, millennials, are not having as many kids as they should be. We are not at replacement for native-born population. Oh, you're one of those great replacement guys. I don't have an opinion on it. It's happening because when natural-born citizens are losing ground to immigrants, you lose culture. And millennials don't have a culture to go into. Here's more statistics. The average boy my age saw pornography, and not just like softcore nudity. They saw hardcore pornography by the age of 11. The school I went to, a teacher was raping a kid. And we're being told to put our kids in public schools while none of them can read and are allowed to go on these protests. But if I so much as said, earn my respect to a teacher, I could be in suspension. I could get a detention. But rebelling against the government is totally cool now. Fine, I'm not judging. What I'm saying is, a car today costs as much as a house 30 years ago. And I'm trying to do something about it, but I can't get a job. I'm disabled. I worked in the medical field for 10 years and in a warehouse. I have bone spurs on my spine, okay? I drive a car with a cracked windshield, and that roaring you're hearing is one of the bearings about to go out while I'm doing 60. I can't afford to get a new car. I can't afford a place to live. Well, why don't you rent? Cool, so I don't build up any equity and just piss my money away to a boomer who refuses to like call their kids and get involved with their life or not apologize for how terrible of parents they are. Because I'm telling you, boomers, you're awful parents. How can I tell? Because my parents were Xers. I'm coming after you next, guys. But boomers still hold most of the capital. They still are in positions of leadership in the government and in business. Oh, it's a meritocracy. It's not. The average boomer has an IQ of 92. That's slightly below average. I have an IQ 130. Okay? And I'm looking at the fall apart of the economy. That people my age can't buy houses, can't buy cars, can't get insurance, can't have kids. And if your kids don't want to have kids, you failed as a parent. Because let's think about this biologically and scientifically. If a species refuses to reproduce, what happens to that species? That's right, it collapses. Well, good thing there are a bunch of people on Earth, like 8 billion. Not in America. There are not enough people in America being born in America to maintain America. Boomers, when you finally decide to go to a nursing home, which don't, but you have to because, you know, your kids don't like you. When you go into a nursing home and there's not enough CNAs or techs to go around to roll you because you fell in the shower and broke your hip, right? Because of understaffing. You wanted to take a shower. You tried it yourself. You fell and broke a hip. Anyway. And now as you're laying in your bed in excruciating pain while on all sorts of medicines for that pain, in loopy, the CNA doesn't come in 1 to 2 hour rotation. It doesn't rotate you. you have the start of a bed sore. That's not going away. That's only getting worse. And instead of amending your relationship with your family, you are now dying of sepsis in a bed sore in a nursing home no one ever visited you in, because you will not make amends with your kids. And your kids have a lot of good reasons to be angry. But, Xers, nobody else have I ever met that has a stronger generational pride. What do you guys have to be proud about? Yeah, we had the 80s. Did you write that music? Or was it the boomers that were born 20 years? Oh, that's right. You guys are just sarcastic? Nice stop. You guys are sarcastic, mean-spirited, self-centered, just as bad as the boomers, except you only pretend to have it all together because you're just as destitute as we are. But because you had to earn to get where you were, we should have to also, without being taught any of the valuable lessons. My parents never taught me how to tie my shoes. Never gave me the talk. They expected the school to do that. The same school that was raping kids. So, like, before you start saying, oh, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, you're so whiny. It's like, okay, I hear you, but, like, my generation went to school, got the degree, got the office jobs, and now are working 2 or 3 jobs if they even can get jobs. And those degrees are rotting away in a safe somewhere because only so many people need to be business majors. Only so many people need to be psychology majors. We need STEM, but STEM is hard to get into. Trust me. And then we're not even going to hire the people we sent to STEM fields in America first place. So, like, my generation is completely screwed and has been screwed over by boomers who destroyed the economy and will not give up their capital, and Xers enforcing the toxic family bonds that were created with their parents. No, if I ask you to help me with homework, you should never scream at me. I don't give a flip if it's 10 minutes before I go to bed or not. You're screaming at me. I'm your kid. What is that supposed to do? How else are you going to learn your lesson? Be a better parent. If you have to hurt your kids for them to learn lessons, you are the problem. I'm in no contact with my parents. I was abused in systematically narcissistic family whatever. I was neglected and abused to the point of death multiple times. And they covered it up. And they hid it because they're good Christians too. So now Christians have a bad name because they'll go to church on Sunday, holy, holy, holy God Almighty, and then scream at their kids because they spilled coffee on their carpet. No, you're a part of the problem too. And I'm going to double down. If you have a problem with anything I say, you're the part of the problem. Like, there are people, my grandparents go on trips every year. They go on vacations with friends every year. Never have they taken me once. 2, they always go with their friends. And 3, I'm homeless, without a job, and a new kid. And they have a $70,000 camper that they wanted us to live in instead of moving with them. But instead we moved in with them, and it created the most toxic environment because they realized I wasn't taught anything. I don't know how to do anything. My parents didn't teach me how to do anything. School was useless. I went back to school and got the certification to work 80, 90 hours a week. That gave me bone spurs in my back. That put me in 2 comas. That put a hole in my foot. Okay? No, I'm not whiny. I'm tired. And the fact that I have to, millennials have to slave just to make a place in the world, while boomers get to go on their vacations and have their campers and country homes. Oh, we earned it. Nothing biblical about that. And now Christians have a bad name because they talk out of one side and do something out of the other. Like right now, I'm getting more views on these videos than my ministry videos. I'll take some responsibility for mistakes, but those mistakes were the only choices I had because my parents taught me that way. So, try again, boomers. I'm all ears.